What up, my peeps? It's your girl, KC Sonshine. Let's chop it up sisterhood style about navigating your 50s with flavor and flair. This is your quintessential guide to slaying your 50s like a queen. Welcome to 50ish and Fab, the Hot Flash Report.
I don't care what they say, it's between me and you, and it's true.
Okay, so now we're officially
We
live.
up. Let's go.
So, welcome back to another episode of 50ish and Fab, the Hot Flash Report. I'm your girl, KC Sonshine, your Southern Sweet Tea with a splash of Brooklyn. And guess what? I have a super duper special guest up in the house today. I'm saying Rick can't even hold this particular guest, and not only is my guest storied because she's killing it with the doctorate and doing all these things, but she is also what I call a GG. You know, you got girlfriends, but then you got good girlfriends. So I am honored with my good girlfriend, Dr. Fredara Hadley in the house. And welcome to 50ish and Fab.
Thank you. I'm honored. So excited to be here. I can only imagine where this conversation is going to go, but I'm buckled in and ready for the ride.
Well, that's a good thing, because I'm going to need you to be, because today I want to tap into, okay, first off, I have to give you Dr. Fredara Hadley, my GG girlfriend's background. I want to start with how I met this wonderful person, and then I'm going to get into let y'all know what a heavy hitter she is after I tell you what a human she is, because she was one of my clients at the Nail Bells that was faithful. Every 2 weeks, come in, exciting. Oh, I need a color for the game. I'm going to homecoming. Oh, I'm going to Ghana. Oh, she stayed going, and I stayed admiring. And then when I went to school, I was like, you know what? I'm going to follow Doc example and get up out of the U.S. So I appreciate you for being the example of, what do they call him, a jet setter?
Hey.
Yes, a jet setter. Now I'm going to go ahead and read her official, so, you know, the white people will appreciate
Who I miss.
Yes, who you is. Dr. Fredara Mareva Hadley is an accomplished ethnomusicologist and professor at the Juilliard School, where she teaches courses on African American music and ethnomusicology. Her scholarship focuses on the cultural impact of historically black colleges and universities. Shout out to the HBCUs! Black musical life in New York City and the institutional foundations of black artistic excellence. A native of West Palm Beach, Florida, Dr. Hadley holds degrees from Florida A&M University, Clark Atlanta University, and a PhD in ethnomusicology from Indiana University. That's how you run them letters by, but hold on, there's more. Dr. Hadley's work has been featured in the New York Times, Billboard, and the Washington Post, and she contributed to major documentary projects, including PBS's Gospel, Paramount's Little Richard, I Am Everything, and Hulu's The 1619 Project. She is currently writing her first of many books. Let me go on and put that out there. She is currently writing her first book, I'll Make Me a World, a study of music culture at HBCUs. And it's all about the diverse and vast musical legacies and impact of historically black colleges and universities. Put your hands together.
We love it.
Dr. Fredara Hadley, I'm so honored to have you here.
I'm delighted.
But I want you to greet the people in your own way. You tell us about you, because I had to give the background. You know, they got to know who I'm talking to so they understand why this is so important. You tell the people about you.
Listen, I would just like to say we bonded because we're both Southern black women who found ourselves in Brooklyn. And I do mean found ourselves in multiple ways in Brooklyn. And so, you know, we love family, we love community, we love black folks, we love the journey that we've been on, and we're excited about where we're going. You talked about when you entered your jet set phase, and I was so delighted and inspired. Like, where we at now? We in the Maldives? We where? We doing what? And I think that's so important. that you have people who genuinely want to see you happy.
Yeah.
You know, they want you to have the highest happiness that you can have. And so that's basically me. I'm grateful. I'm profoundly grateful for all of the things I've been able to see and do. I don't take that for granted because my grandparents, none of them went past the 6th grade. My parents were both first-generation college students and graduates.
Right.
And because of all their sacrifices and all that they've done, I've been able to take that baton and run and fly. And I know that's not just about me, so I can sit up somewhere and be like, oh, look at me, you know? but I am profoundly, you know, one, to just be alive. You can't take that for granted, that you here.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the old folks used to be like, thank God I woke up with a reasonable portion of my health and my strength, you know? So we have another day, we have another chance to make the most beautiful moments that we can for ourselves and others. And so that's really me and what I'm about.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I'm going to add some more to that because you are also a giver, you know, as it relates to not only your students with the education, but I appreciate the way you supported my kids at the nail salon and my lunch program. And, you know, just really, really being a part of the community. Although we are not natives of here, this is our home.
It is.
I came to your house a few weeks ago and I was like, I just want to lay down. I wasn't even sleepy. It was just comfortable.
I want my home to feel like a wellness retreat. But I want to go back to something you just said because that was deeply inspirational to me. The Nail Bell was more than a salon. It was a gathering space. And I think this is so important in neighborhoods that are rapidly gentrifying like Bed-Stuy. Your salon was a place, you had all kinds of clients, and, as you should. And at the same time, the neighborhood, Pookie from around the way, the kids, everybody knew they could also fall through. Yeah. And you were comfortable in a way that wasn't about putting on. You weren't pretending to be okay with the neighborhood and all that it is, falling through the nail bell. I remember many times after you had finished getting everybody's nail together, somebody ordered some fish from someplace, some cards came out from someplace else, you know, and it turned organically into just a party. And so even though that wasn't my side of Bed-Stuy, for folks who don't know, Bed-Stuy is a pretty big neighborhood.
It is.
I felt at home when I was over there on Malcolm X.
Yeah.
And seeing those young people, watching those young people grow up, all of that, I think we need more of that, not less. And so you cultivated and embodied that in a way that I rarely see, you know, in a lot of our businesses these days. And that sticks even more than the banging nails you did for me. That sticks with me. It really does.
But I think that that's a part of the challenge that I have with, I want to be very transparent, outsiders coming into the neighborhood. Because you come in with a different agenda where you want to change Malcolm X from that back to Reed Avenue. No, it's Malcolm X because that's what we wanted.
Yes.
And that's what we wanted to stay.
Yes.
So even though we were, at our time when it was still black, right? We came in Bed-Stuy was still black.
Yeah.
We were still on the outside until we were able to embrace the way we were embraced. Because it was a little overwhelming. It's like when you go to Chick-fil-A and they so friendly, it's like, Now that we don't shop them no more. But they was the ones who had the earliest friendliness, you know, before they went anti-whatever, anti-everything. Okay, so they off the map. But they had the friendliest people, like, you like, what's her angle?
Yep. What's going on here?
Exactly. That's how.
Them in Publix. Like.
Too friendly. Too damn friendly.
Yes. Well, shopping is a pleasure. Y'all really mean that. That's true.
Yeah. So I appreciate the way that, you know, we've been able to grow and we actually brought in the new year together.
We did.
Hey,
we trekked. We put on our party clothes and we trekked all the way just on the edge of Times Square.
On the edge.
That was New Year's going into 2024.
5.
No, it was 2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago?
It was time goes. It was 2
when
years
was
ago.
When was I 25?
It
must have been good if I don't remember.
Exactly. But we turned it out and it was like, I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah,
It really was.
And the perfect amount of time. The traffic wasn't super
We were ready
terrible.
to leave at the same time.
Yeah.
He was like, you ready? You ready?
Yeah,
Let's go.
It was
Yeah.
kismet. It was kismet. So thank you for that. Was that 24?
I think so,
No,
but
it was not. It
was 25. Okay.
Because that's when I was with Rome.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was 25. That was this year.
You know, there's not enough said about like marking time by who you were with at that time. Like calendar years are one thing, but who was I dating is a
24,
different.
it was in my episodes he's referred to as Lando.
Oh, I remember.
You know who he
yeah. I remember.
TV dude,
I remember.
right?
Yeah, I remember.
He was 24.
Yeah.
So 25, when you and I, the video that I sent, that was wrong. Yeah,
that
he
was coming
my,
into
he
25.
was my Thanksgiving Christmas gift last year.
I remember. It was hot and heavy for a second, and then we were done. It's okay. No love lost. It's just like, we're done.
They have May, December. What did I have? I think I had the opposite. I have something till February. I broke up with him. I didn't want to buy no gift.
Well, you always blaze your own path, so there's that.
Yeah, I stayed in love.
Yes. I ain't mad at it. I am not mad. You take your breaks when you need to, and then you pop back out when you want to. And I think if you aren't married, that you are left to govern your love life, your personal life as you want. That's the best way to do it, on your terms. When you feel like, I need to take myself out the game for a minute, you do that. And when you're like, okay, I'm ready, what y'all doing?
Because everybody can't be like your mom and Papa Fred.
Listen, 56, you're right, 1,000. I was trying to say 56, but you're right, 1,000 years and counting.
And he just had a birthday.
He did. Happy birthday to him.
He's so cute. How tall is he?
He's 6'4".
6'4".
He's 6'4", and my mama is 4'11", and I'm 5'3". So my dad is just in a house with a bunch of literal little women.
Women. That's so cute. I love they love. I'm trying to be like them.
Listen, aren't we all?
Talking about hashtag goals.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like them all day. But I'm going to go ahead and I want to get to the topic of today, which is tell me something good. Yeah.
I love how much you're singing on this.
Tell me that you love me, baby. Yeah, that is my thing. Yes. But I want to do that because there's no way that I could have someone with so much music knowledge in their head, right? Like have a giant of music in my space and not let that be the topic.
Amen.
Now, I'm going to still give y'all a lesson and put some Jesus on it. We're going to do all that. Right now, I'm going to start with the hot flash, which is something little known about the song. Did you know Shaka Khan did not initially want to record Tell Me Something Good? Stevie Wonder wrote the song specifically for her voice, brought it to Rufus, and she still was like, I don't want to do it. Stevie was like, I'm going to need you to run it anyway. Even if you don't want to do it. She didn't want it. So she was like, all right, they ran it. It became Rufus's breakout hit, won a Grammy, and turned lowercase Shaka into Shaka, all capital letters. So the lesson in this example is that sometimes blessing you don't want is the breakthrough you need.
Well, that'll preach.
You see, she wasn't even interested in the song, but you see, that was their breakthrough, won a Grammy and all that.
That'll preach.
So sometimes there's a lesson in what you think you don't want that God wants for you anyway.
Ooh.
Hey.
You hear the organist.
I'm going to add that in the
Tuning up. Please do. That needs an organ right there.
But now our first segment, which I yield the floor to my guest, everyone knows is Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Yeah. Tell the truth and shame the devil. And this is, well, I guess a little known fact about you. If you've listened to my show, I talk about everything because I am unembarrassable and I don't really care. So I will yield the floor to you to share today's Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. There are lots of truths because I'm human, just like anybody else. But people look at me now and they're like, "Oh, doctor and PhD or Juilliard and all those things." But the truth was, school was really hard for me.
Was it?
Oh my God, yeah. School was extraordinarily hard for me. I almost didn't finish high school.
Really?
And it was never because I couldn't do the work, really. looking back on high school, it was a combination of things. Things I now recognize as depression, like actual depression.
Right.
Things that we weren't talking about in that language in the 90s, and mental health care wasn't,
Of course not.
a thing. But now that I've grown up and I've had other eras of depression and had mental health support, I can look back and say, oh, that's what that was, right? So there was that. And then I was always kind of a quirky, nerdy, bookish kid. And so I wasn't good at the rules of going to school, because going to school to me is about being knowledgeable, being, or working hard, but also following the rules of school. I wasn't very invested in that. So I did not go to school. I was borderline truant at different points in high school. A lot of people look back on high school with a lot of fondness. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't easy for me at all. And so my mom jokes, she's the last one who thought I was going to end up getting a PhD, because I missed my high school graduation rehearsal. Oh, wow. And if you missed graduation rehearsal, you weren't supposed to march in graduation. And I knew that. And somehow or another, I still missed it. Like, I was asleep in bed and they called me and they were like, we're lining up and you aren't here. They took a vote of my high school class if I would be allowed to march in graduation or not. I'm serious. And thankfully, my class voted yes. But they punished me by making me march at the end of the line instead of marching in line where I was supposed to. And so, I get to college. I wasn't a standout student in college either. Didn't necessarily get better. I worked really hard in the classes I was super interested in. I did not work hard in classes that I had to pass. By God's grace, emphasis on God's grace, I graduated in 4 years on time and made it out. My first job, I went into a corporate job in banking. I knew the first day that this job was a bad idea.
Really?
The day one orientation, I was like, this is not going to work out well. And I ended up staying there, I don't know, roughly about 3 years. I got fired from that job. And they should have fired me because I was terrible at that job. Like, it wasn't no racism. It wasn't no sexism. No, I was horrible.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah, no, I was really bad at that job. There are things that I learned from it for sure, but I knew the lesson in that was I knew when I got fired, the answer isn't to go and find another corporate job, because I'm not going to be good at that either. You know what I mean? That's just not something that played to my strengths. It just didn't work, and that led me to go to graduate school. So my father actually was like, "You need to go to graduate school. You can't figure out what you're doing with your life. You need to go to graduate school."
But did you feel pressure, despite your challenges, to go on and get your advanced degrees because your mother has a doctorate?
None.
No.
Wow. My parents, they said, you're going to college because you can't go to the service. You they have no use for you. And my dad had been drafted in the Army, and he also did not want, he was just like, no. He was like, you can't go in the service. And so you got to go to college.
Right.
And so I knew that was a non-negotiable, and I wanted to go to college. Anything beyond that, they were just got to do what you do. But my dad, I think he saw me flailing a little bit, and he was like, well, if you're not going to get another job, ain't no trust fund for you. You probably should consider graduate school. That's what you should probably. And this is important too, I had no real plan for my life. I didn't grow up thinking I wanted to be a professor. I didn't grow up thinking I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor. I grew up thinking that I wanted to have an interesting life. And I didn't know how to articulate it then, but I think I meant that had something to do with the arts. That had something to do with being in the city. That had something to do with being creative.
Okay.
But I didn't know exactly how all of that was going to come together. But I desperately, my most sincere desire was to live a life that I thought was interesting. And I think even when I wasn't aware of it, that's what I was choosing for myself more consistently than anything else.
And what I'll say is that your life has been interesting to watch, because we've been down a dime at least 10 years. At least 10. So it's been very interesting to watch. So now that you've told your truth, I guess the shame to the devil would be the success that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
The question is, was it worth it?
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly hard. And I tell people this. When you become a successful person, there's a way of looking back to, and it all seems inevitable. Like it was always going to end up this way. That's not at all what it's like when you're going through it. There are many times where you we might crash and burn this time. It might really all blow up. But you can also look back, I can also look back and see moments of profound grace, serendipity, blessing, where it probably should have all crashed and burned, but somebody stepped in and was like, nah, girl, let me save you from this situation since you don't know how to take care of yourself. And it makes me profoundly grateful to the village of people. It may have been one person who showed up once in my life and I never saw them again, but they intervened at a really critical moment.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Right. Or it may have been somebody who has been, like my parents and friends, who have been beside me throughout. Right.
Yes.
And so it was all worth it, but I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a price to pay. You know what I mean? Sometimes I wonder, what's the trade-off between personal life and professional life? Like, is there one? Because I work a lot. I travel a lot. I don't think that that's the reason I never married, but I wonder if it complicates that notion. And part of me did think, especially when I was younger, that it would be difficult to grab whatever I was reaching towards and also be married at the same time. I didn't necessarily think that those two things were compatible.
Well, I sit in the same seat because you know that I have never been married and I didn't have any biological children. I done supported 1,000 of them.
You have supported an entire village and then some of young people.
And you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think that when you say there's a price to pay, I also believe that the price that we've paid is the legacy that we'll see later on.
Indeed.
The word says that your latter will be greater than your former, right? So I am relishing this year's. I'm going to clap right here. Thank you for today. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
For sure.
I thank you for that. I appreciate your transparency and your honesty, which is a requirement here at 50ish and Fab, the Hot Flash Report. But now I want to dig into some of the great mysteries of Black music.
All right.
First off, tell us what an ethnomusicologist is. Let's start there.
Well, as I told my parents when I told them I was going to go study to become one, I did not make it up. It is not a word that I coined. It is at least 70 years old, probably older than that. And it is a person who studies music and culture, how the music we make, engage in, helps to shape the culture in which we live. And I think of culture as oxygen for humans. Like a lot of times we don't even see it, but we recognize when it's being mirrored back to us, or we recognize the absence of it, right? I'm in a different kind of culture. I'm in a different kind of air. I'm in a different kind of atmosphere. And so music is one of the most important components of that. Religion, language, dress, food, all those things are important pillars. And I always say that music is a really portable part of that. We carry our sense of musicality with us wherever we find ourselves. And so ethnomusicologists are interested in all kinds of things. We have people doing medical ethnomusicology who are interested in how music can work with people who have autism or with people who have Alzheimer's. Ecomusicology, thinking about climate change. And obviously people, the oldest form of ethnomusicology is people researching music of a particular cultural group per se. Right. And so I fall in that camp in the sense that my work has been around Black American music and really looking at how Black American music lives in the lives of Black people. That's the thing that really brings me joy. I've written about things like why we ride around blasting our speakers in the summertime. You know, why is that important? Why is it important that you're in the park with the subwoofers and you're claiming space through sound? You're letting us know where you are through sound and thinking about when we share music, it has to be for the whole train car, not just for me, right?
Because it's so good that everybody needs to love this.
You may not know you need to hear this, but you need to hear this. And so that's really what brings me joy. And I've been fortunate to do that in some way, shape, or form for the last 20 years. I entered ethnomusicology in 2005. And so this year,
awesome.
I'm celebrating my 20th anniversary of entering that world.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Here,
you.
I'm going to clap again. Add some applause and blows. But now I think that this is the perfect segue for you to tell me not only something good, but tell me something great. Let's talk about your book.
Yes.
Let's dig into the new love of your life.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to preface this conversation with my own personal exposure to HBCUs, which is a grand topic. I will tell you about growing up in Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, I will talk about going to A&T's homecoming.
That's right.
The parade, all up and down Market Street, right? I can tell you all about that. Us going to football games, not even knowing what football was, but because that was so embedded in our culture, it didn't matter where you lived. If you lived in Greensboro, you was going to A&T homecoming.
Pull up.
And then they was definitely playing somebody else black.
Yep.
So
Black on top of black on top of black.
yes, and it was a whole vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that those moments, having grown up in white neighborhoods and around people that didn't look like me, those were the moments in my youth where I felt the most protected around my own people, because Greensboro is the same place where the KKK marched and we had the 1979 riot when
That's
I was
right.
10 years old.
Wow.
People were killed, right?
Yeah.
So that's that same city, but being in that crowd at the stadium at North Carolina
Nothing
A&T,
like it.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
So that's my little segue for you to come on and pour out your heart and tell us something great, and then we'll get into the rest of it.
Sure. And so since you mentioned A&T, I have to admit I haven't yet made it to A&T. Hopefully sooner than later. I've never been to A&T. I know.
Are you serious?
I've never made it to A&T.
Oh, my
It's high on my
gosh.
list. But I want to give a shout out to one of my absolute favorite Aggies, Dr. Jelani Favors, one of my most frequent collaborators. He's an alum, but was also faculty at North Carolina A&T, and he's now at the United Negro College Fund doing phenomenal things. And so we have collaborated on HBCU-related research projects, and that's my brother. And so you mentioned A&T, so I just shout him out.
Shout out.
But you were talking about homecoming, and, you know, in the book, I write about homecoming as this culminating ritual, because that's really what it is. I'm a FAMU rattler on both sides of my family. My parents met at Florida A&M University, and my aunts and uncles and family on both sides went to Florida A&M, and so it's
Y'all run deep.
we run very, very,
Wow.
very, very, very deep. It's. I always joke. I say FAMU is my family's love language. Like, it really is. And so I wouldn't exist if it hadn't been for FAMU, because my parents lived in different places, and that's what brought them together. But I was at homecoming this past October, and I went to an event with both my parents, and I was just like, oh, man, I think this is the first homecoming event that the three of us went to together. I would go to stuff with my mom, I'd go to stuff with my dad, but all three of us were together on campus, and people were so happy to see them. They, like, pushing me out the way, like, Dr. Hadley, Mr. Hadley, all that. It was very cute. And also, there's no secret, we live in a really, really, really intense political climate, and that's definitely true in the state of Florida. And FAMU is in Tallahassee, which is the state capital, and we have a very complicated relationship with the governor. But at homecoming, I was looking around. It felt like all of that other stuff didn't even matter, because it was just tens of thousands of black folks enjoying themselves in they orange and green, eating their fish plates, buying their nail, singing, strolling, and doing sorority stuff, listening to the band. It was just an all-inclusive, complete little black world. And for me, I feel like in complex ways, that's what HBCUs have made possible. And that's why the book is called I'll Make Me a World, which comes from a James Weldon Johnson poem called The Creation. And James Weldon Johnson, of course, wrote the lyrics to the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. So I was really thinking about, and in some ways, HBCUs, which the earliest one goes back to the 1830s, it feels sometimes really improbable that you still have these institutions. These institutions have survived for so long, which are dedicated primarily to educating young Black people. And all that this country has been, we still have HBCUs, feels like a miracle. And so I wanted to write a book that really praised a lot of these professors who have taught generations of students and made their futures possible to go on and become musicians, music educators, singers, all these things. I wanted to praise groups like the Fish Jubilee Singers, which these are young people who in 1871 are traveling all over Europe, all over Southeast Asia, right, in the 19th century, raising money to literally build a building on their campus, Jubilee Hall. And so in my mind, when I'm writing, I often think this is a love letter to young Black people because we live in a country that is hostile to young Black people in particular.
It is.
And so I wanted to really look at what they bring to these campuses, the creativity they bring to these campuses, what happens when all these Black folks get to this one place, this one campus, and the racism of the country isn't gone, but it recedes a little bit because everyone you're mostly dealing with is Black. The administrators, the janitors, the teachers, everybody. Yes. And for better and for worse. And so I often say HBCUs are havens. They're not heavens. They're not perfect.
Right.
But there's a lot of really phenomenal musical things that have come out of these institutions that I feel like we haven't collectively acknowledged. And so this book, if I do my job well, this book will do that.
I have no doubt that you will do your job well. And when you talk about the passion is evident in your voice. Your passion about what it is that you're saying, and I can tell you've done your homework. And that's what sells books.
You right.
Passion and homework, boo-boo. Oprah, Opie.
There she goes. There she at.
Opie, call us, girl. Because I fully expect and believe that the work that you're doing, and like you said, leaving the love letter, a legacy behind to this generation. One of my brothers and my older sister both went to Johnson C. Smith.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law met my sister at Johnson C. Smith. They got married. They had a little Hampton baby.
And it goes on.
And it goes on from my father and from A&T and Livingstone. I missed being a part of that legacy and being fortunate enough to go to an HBCU because I did not feel incubated at all at NYU. But the only thing that I can liken that experience to was moving to Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy, honey.
When you say haven.
Yes.
Right? I understand, and I just felt like a HBCU hug when you say the word haven because I can understand. I ain't go to an HBCU, but I live in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
And that's my HBCU haven.
Yeah.
Right? That's my safe place. I could go to Manhattan and work all day and rush on the train and do all of this, but boo-boo, when I get off,
back in Bed-Stuy.
I'm back in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, nothing like it.
It's quiet. And I know my neighbors, and so I can appreciate that. I also recognize the changes that I've seen in my nieces and nephews. My niece just graduated from Virginia State.
In Petersburg, Virginia.
Yeah, she just graduated from Virginia State, and first off, with your, tell the truth, she struggled.
Yeah.
She struggled in high school, we was like, you might want to go to beauty school. Girl, you can do some hair.
Yeah, let's lean into your strengths. Let's lean into
my
your
sister's
strengths.
like, ain't no sense in paying all that tuition.
Yeah.
Doing no loans, none of that, because she is not. And my sister, the irony of it is that my sister, who is also a doctor, heard from her high school counselor that she was not college material. And that she might make a good stewardess.
Go travel.
Now that same teacher's probably laying on my sister's couch in therapy.
Listen.
Right? For all the lives she thinks she done destroyed that superseded where she was at. So I understand the safe haven. When can we expect the book?
2027. I need to finish it up. I'm getting back with my editor in the new year so we can land this plane gently and get it out into the world. So I'm eager for people to read it. It's been a long time coming, but it's such a story that means so much to so many people that I do feel accountable to Black folks in general, but people who love HBCUs in particular, whether you went to them or not. And I think that's one of the things that is so special about HBCUs, that it isn't only about if you were enrolled there. It's about the community of that HBCU. You can be like, well, I gave that baby $10 so that she could pay her, tuition. Like, that counts.
And
Put
that's
on
exactly
your shirt
right.
and let's go. You know what I mean? So I consider what they have been able to achieve and continue to achieve as sacred. And so, I treat it as such. And so I'm looking forward, though, to wrapping it up and getting it out into the world and people loving it, arguing with it, talking with it about it. But I really hope that it continues to encourage people to invest in and support music programs at HBCUs. It encourages us to continue to have scholarships for students to study music at HBCUs. And it continues to inspire other younger scholars to write books and dissertations on other pieces of this. I mean, there are over 100 and something HBCUs. And I always say you could write a book about the music of each one of them. And so I hope that it further ignites that interest, and I'm excited.
There is something magical about the energy of HBCUs, because any drum line you've ever seen, any drum majors. My partner has really been trying to get me into football. So Saturdays is college football days. And then, so last week it was Ohio and Indiana.
And Indiana won, where I did my PhD. Yes. I watched that game on YouTube on the A Train.
The game was good. But then they had the drum, like the drum major, looking like Opie, Andy Griffith.
It's not the same.
No,
cute.
it's not at all. It's cute.
Very, very cute.
But Boo Boo, you ain't going to jump up out your chair.
You ain't us. We gonna go get our snacks while y'all doing y'all drills. Going back, I went to the game when I was at homecoming, and our band has 7 drum majors.
Wow.
And HBCU bands have different personalities. Ours, I feel like the goal is always to intimidate you to death. Like, they don't smile. They have stone face. They are locked in. They are serious. And the head drum major is a woman. And she's her family is from Nigeria, and she's from Atlanta. She grew up in Atlanta. And we have all these rituals. Our band, the Marching 100, the best band in Atlanta. I got the mic. Y'all can argue with yourselves, but I'm going to say Marching 100 is the best. And there's a way that they bring the band off the field, and the head drum major goes last and brings the sousaphones off the field. And there's like 30 plus sousaphones in our band. Our band is massive. And that head drum major choreographs their own dance inside this ritual. And everybody who is affiliated with FAMU is very familiar with all of this. So we wait for it, right? And so when it's her moment to shine, I have never felt anything like this in Bragg Stadium at FAMU. And I've been going there my entire life. Everybody just stands up and starts yelling, Dupe, like yelling her name. It was electric. And she killed it. She killed it. Like, you can only have that at a HBCU because you got to do that in front of an audience who knows to wait for it. Who knows what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? So I hear, Florida State, they'll start playing some of the songs that the HBCUs play, like Talking Out the Side of Your Neck by Cameo or, some of these other songs. And I'll literally be like sitting in the living room and hear too much bassing and tubas. I'm like, what? Are they playing? But it's not going to hit the same because your crowd doesn't know that song.
It's true.
We know that song.
It's
you know
true.
what I mean? And so anytime I get to sit in that environment, it does feel in some ways like the closest I can get to heaven on earth. Like, I'm with my people. Everybody is showing out. And the rest of the nonsense just fades to the back a little bit.
It's true. It took me some time because when I went to Virginia State with my niece, I was like, is she really in good hands here? I felt like it was a little, I can't say exactly why I wasn't quite comfortable, but I wasn't sure that she was going to come out the way that she in fact has.
Good.
So all the doubts that I had, I'm ashamed. I have to tell the truth and shame the devil.
Hey.
Because I was like, ugh, I don't know if this is a good fit for her. Maybe she should go somewhere else. Now, when my nephew went to Hampton, it was no question because he could go anywhere in the world. Right? He was prepared. Like, we just barely got her out. We couldn't trust her to go across the street. How are we going to trust her to go out of town? By herself? Oh, Lord Jesus.
But that's the other thing, too. HBCUs have a long history of taking all kinds of students. Students who barely made it, who aren't seen as academically sound and need, preparatory courses and all of that. They have done that work and still graduate and found ways to graduate those students into being incredibly productive citizens. I have to give a shout out. I did a master's degree at Clark Atlanta University, another HBCU.
Shout out Clark Atlanta.
Yeah. And one of my professors, Dr. Daniel Black, in 2024, he gave this commencement address that went viral. Like, you got to look it up on YouTube. It has like over 500,000 views.
Okay.
But he talks, I haven't heard anybody talk as beautifully as he has about how HBCUs are these places that really transform, and talking about the struggles that students go through. He mentions in that speech, Jelani Favors and I published it earlier this year in the journal that we co-edited. It was that profound.
You'll have to send it so I can share it on my website.
I absolutely will. And so he talks about, you may be a student in school, but you got to send your mama money sometimes. Like, Black folks just go through all kinds of stuff. It's a different experience. It's not, everybody don't come from money. Everybody ain't just sailing through. And he talks about the difficulty of students having to really fight for it. And sometimes the institution is fighting alongside you, because the history of HBCUs is that they've been underfunded. That's why it means so much to people that you have somebody like Mackenzie Scott.
$700 million.
She's dropping $60 million at this HBCU, $50 million with no,
all worthy.
And not saying that you have to name something after her, not telling them how to spend it. And so, because we know that these schools have been so chronically underfunded, yet HBCUs are responsible for the majority of Black pharmacists, Black engineers, Black PhDs.
It's
like
true.
They overperform, but it's hard. Like, my mom was also HBCU faculty, and I watched her. It's difficult when you don't have everything you feel you need, but those professors also don't let that become a reason why success cannot be theirs and cannot be their students.
Right.
And so, but I feel like that's the history of Black folks, making a way out of no way. Like, we're going to feel.
That's for true. But one thing I can say for certain is that, number one, I don't want to cast doubt on my niece's ability.
Yep.
But I don't know that she would have graduated as quickly somewhere else.
Yeah.
Number two, I can say that when it came to her mental health, when it came to any kind of needs that she had, they were there, right? They were there. I can also say that once she got there and really found her tribe, I could see that she was going to go far. So all the doubt that I cast, thinking she need to stay close to home and she should go to community college and she should do all these things, she did exactly what she was supposed to do.
And she worked it right on out.
She sure did.
You gotta be
got
so
her little
proud.
degree, social worker, doing her little thing.
Yes.
And living her best life. She just graduated like May 25.
I remember. I remember when she was young, and now she a whole, because she's the baby of the bunch.
Yeah, she is. And now she is
a whole college graduate.
Yeah, thank God for that. So I want to congratulate you on your efforts.
Thank you.
And I am so proud of you for, first off, for what the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain so they that read it can run with it. You're leaving something for a generation to run with.
Amen.
And that means so much more than just a drop in the bucket here, drop in the bucket there, because that is what legacy is made of. So I want to congratulate you, and I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on the book. And then I want to talk about Tell Me Something Good, because now I got to pick your ethnomusicologist brain.
Let's go.
So I want to talk about some unsolved mysteries in Black music, and they vary in range. The first one I want to talk about is one that I didn't really know much about until I started researching for our meeting, because I wanted to sound smart when you came on the show.
You got it. You got it.
I want to sound like I know what I was talking about. So tell me something good. What happened to Marvin Gaye's missing final recordings? Now, I'll give you some background on what's known about it. In his final years, Marvin Gaye recorded hours of music, some in Belgium and London. Much of it never surfaced. Some tapes were rumored stolen or hidden after his death. While the mystery exists, Marvin was known to record privately and give tapes to trusted friends. Legal battles between estates and labels created ownership disputes. The most discussed theories are they're hidden in private collections, misplaced or mislabeled in record label vaults, or destroyed in the universal fire. Do you know about this?
I actually don't. I know about him recording in Belgium. I know that, I forget which is the last label he's with. It's not Motown. I would say the answer is probably D, a little bit of all of that.
It is. Because it still remains unsolved.
Yeah.
It remains unsolved, but let's think about that. If there was a secret vault of Marvin Gaye's music, oh my God.
Right. I go back and forth on those kinds of releases. On one hand, because just about every artist who passes away, there's some discussion of releasing the posthumous album. People talking about that connected to Prince now.
Right.
I feel like that happened with Michael Jackson and all of that. And I go back and forth. Part of me, the curious part of me is like, I want to hear it. What was it? What were they working on?
Right.
You know? And then another part of me is kind of like, let it be. You know? Let it be.
You know, I think I could land between the two of those. But the nosy Southern girl in me, the one that sit on the porch and wave
Show
to the neighbor.
It to me. Where is it?
I want to know right now.
Play it for me. Let me be the judge. No, I do understand it. I do understand it. I definitely understand it.
Now, don't release it if it's whack. But I'm saying like the Southern girl, you know, the nosy one that sit on the porch.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, waving at everybody. That part of me. Not the cultured Brooklyn Bed-Stuy girl. She can let it be because she's okay with the legacy. But
No,
I want to know,
I
y'all.
go back and forth. It's not a solid position for me. I kind of forgotten about the universal fire, but that really was a massive, massive loss.
That was on my list of things to talk about was the universal fire. But again, I didn't know much about it.
Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, that was a storage facility in California where they had a lot of master recordings, which are the first pressing of a finished song or album. And what was truly devastating, some folks didn't even know that's where their masters were.
Wow.
Until the fire happened. And not everything went from masters to all of these additional pressings, which is what you would buy in the store back in the day when we bought albums and CDs and all of that. Right. And so some stuff was just lost. Like, that's just gone. And so it is hard to put and the number of artists affected by it was staggering. I remember when that happened in real time, because the whole point of a vault is that it's supposed to be damage proof. You could damn near bomb it and the vault should survive. And this one did not.
The universal fire refers to the massive 2008 fire at a Universal Studios storage facility.
Almost 20 years ago.
I didn't realize it was that 2000s.
Yeah.
I thought it was longer ago than that, 2008, that destroyed countless original master recordings affecting hundreds of artists like Elton John, Tupac, Nirvana, Janet Jackson, R.E.M., Soundgarden, Tom Petty, Aretha Franklin, Weezer, and Neil Young, impacting cultural heritage significantly. The extensive list includes Louis Armstrong, Count Basie, the Eagles. I could go on because this list is extensive.
It was insane. It was insane.
Wow, 50 Cent and Snoop was in it.
Yeah, across genres, across eras. I didn't remember that it was quite that long ago, 2008, but it was devastating. It was absolutely devastating.
Yeah, so the mystery that remains there is exactly how much music was lost. The world may never know when it comes to that. So that is a sad instance. We'll leave that on the table.
Yeah.
But that is something that I found very, very interesting. So I want to talk about another mystery. What was the real cause of Jimi Hendrix's death? Now, I'll tell you what's known. He died September 18th, 1970 in London. The official cause was after taking sleeping pills and drinking wine was asphyxiation. Why the mystery exists, medical experts have questioned the autopsy's details. Witness statements changed over time, and some believe emergency responders mishandled the situation. The most discussed theories: accidental overdose, negligence by those who he was with, or potential foul play tied to management disputes.
Ooh. I feel like it's a combination.
D again.
D, but more so like accidental overdose and like the medical first responders not doing exactly what they should have done, perhaps as quickly as they should have done it. I know there are people who eat, sleep, and breathe all things Hendrix, and they have their thoughts about it. But I feel like it's some combination of that because even though he was a rock star and a legend and all that, he's still a black man. So I have to leave room for, perhaps people didn't do their job quite the way they would have if it had been somebody else. I got to leave a little room for that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So then I'll talk about the two greatest, which are the most obvious. Who killed Biggie and Tupac? Now, if you have seen this most recent, have you seen this Netflix documentary?
I haven't watched it. I'm not going to watch it. But I still think that Diddy probably had some hand in all of it. Like,
I ain't even gonna read their background 6 months apart.
Yeah, and it's crazy because now those deaths are 30 years ago. And you and I certainly remember what they felt like. I remember the night that Tupac died. I was driving in my car when I heard the news with my best friend down 45th Street in West Palm Beach, Florida. And then when I heard that Biggie died, I was on I-95 driving to church, and I heard that Biggie died. And I think it's impossible to exaggerate what that meant to people, what those deaths meant to people.
It's true.
You just can't. You cannot. The shock to our system that they were both just gone. And I feel like the culture was lost. We were lost for a while after that because they were the two brightest stars.
They were.
In hip-hop at that.
And to try to even think about any level of talent today that's displayed that way, I can only think of Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
There are very few people. I don't even put Drake on their level.
Yeah.
But he's creative in his popcorny sort of way, even though he's a rapper. But I don't want to talk slick, and I don't want to go too far there.
Yeah, but I get what Tupac was so complex. You know what I mean? And he was a legitimate actor. We saw him in Poetic Justice. We saw him in what's that movie he did with Omar Epps, the basketball movie that I'm forgetting the name of. We saw him on A Different World. And he had these connections to the Black Panthers, and he could make a song like I Get Around that became a party anthem. But then he develops and gets with Suge Knight and has his whole gangster rap side. He's a complicated person and that was extremely charismatic and fine and just had everybody's attention.
He sure did. Even back with the days with Digital Underground, he
Yes.
was, all we could look at was him because we was doing Humpty Dance and we still checking him in the background.
Yes.
Especially if he had his shirt off.
Which he always did.
Yes, he did.
He always had his shirt off.
But what I have to liken that level of artistry, because that's somebody who worked his way, right? And when you go back to your Tell the Truth, Shame the Devil, about it was hard, right? When you're honest about that, but you did the damn thing. And I think that the lesson in all of this for us is that anything worth having is worth working for.
You gotta work.
You gotta work.
You gotta work.
You gotta work, because I look at some of the people that we laud as superstars. We don't really know how hard they work. I was looking at Taylor Swift. They have to work.
Were you watching the docuseries that came on last night or something?
I saw a clip. I saw a clip. I haven't watched it yet.
I was asleep and I woke up and it was on, and then I just started watching it. Like I watched more Taylor Swift last night in that episode than I probably had my entire life. And I was like, I
She
get
works.
it. I was like, I get it. And then I was like, oh, that song I've heard before. That's her song. Got it. And she's in front of this arena full of people who are crying and know every word of her song. That takes work. It can be for you or it could not be for you, but yeah, she absolutely works. And the thing I often say to myself and to other people, there's no dream without drudgery. Like
Right.
LeBron James got to get up and hit the weight room and work out and do, these people that you laud are doing all these other things.
They doing the work.
Yeah, that outside of the limelight that you and I have no clue about, that require sacrifice and aren't fun. They might be tedious. Everybody has that. You know what I mean? And so you can't have the dream without having some kind of drudgery. Oh, I'd really rather not do this. But you got to have both,
I agree wholeheartedly. And I look at Beyonce being at the top of her game. She earned that spot.
She works.
I'm not a big fan of her music, but I'm a fan of that heifer's work ethic. I've been to her shows, and let me tell you, baby, you talking about it. She's like Luther Vandross was. You remember his shows?
Oh.
You might be too young.
No.
You ever been to one of his shows?
Yes.
Baby, that's back when show was an SHOW with gowns and boas and sequins. And so Beyonce gives you show, but that heifer works.
Yes. Regardless of how you feel about her, that's her on that stage.
Yes.
Doing all of that for 2 hours and some change.
That's
all
right.
of that is her labor and her work, and that's just what that is. And so I think sometimes we confuse. It could not be for you. Someone could put all that work into it and you still be like, that's not really my type of hype. That's fine. But that doesn't negate the fact that someone has labored intensely to bring that to pass. And so I think that's something we have to remind ourselves of. It doesn't come easy.
It doesn't. And that's what I've been saying as it relates to my own quest, as it relates to the things that I'm doing. Because these people, Tupac and Biggie, were at the top of their games because they put the work in.
Yeah.
And I would say that if I had to pick the most missed voices in music for me personally, dang it, how many do I get?
3.
Prince, Tupac, and Whitney.
That's a good 3.
What's your 3?
Oh my God, that's a good 3. That's a good 3. I'm gonna put Michael in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Michael in there, and one more. Whitney's a good one. Damn. Damn, that's like
That was just off the top of my head, though, because
I got a +1 on that. So, and you know
I'll
why?
share Whitney with
you know
you.
why? Because I was thinking about her recently, and I looked up how young she was when she died. She didn't make it to 50. She was in her 40s.
wow.
She was 48, 49 when she died.
Wow.
You know?
What a loss.
And it's just like, she did not really even get to be a middle-aged woman. She died, 10, 12 years ago? So I was in a different phase of my life. I didn't really understand how young that is.
That's young.
That's so young.
Something that I have long thought of, because all of these people we just mentioned, other than Tupac, died of drugs.
Yep.
Right? So I feel like record labels that we give our babies over to, like Juice WRLD. You know, now these schools can sue the gun companies if they shoot up the school with your gun. So I feel like these artist families should be able to sue the record labels when these babies, I ain't talking about grown folk, but Juice WRLD was a baby. Look at these DJs and all of these kids overdosing because they are unable. If you watch Juice WRLD's documentary, it broke my heart because I thought all this talent and all of these Jews and white people and black people and Mexicans and all these people living off of this little young boy, and ain't nobody trying to get him no help. He called his mom and say, "Mama, I'm coming home to get help," and die on the plane. These labels are responsible for this.
I think, yes, the labels are. And I think we're also a society that just cares about how we extract things from people. We don't actually care about people. We care about what can you do for us. You know what I mean? What can you do for me? And we don't see you as a human. You know what I mean? We don't see you as a person. You're now Juice WRLD. You're not whatever his given name is, his mama's son. You're not that. We care about the thing that can honestly just make us more money. You know what I'm saying? I think we do it with athletes. We do it with celebrities, of course, but just people. You look at where so much of our discourse is now. We're treating immigrants as if they aren't people. Like, oh, it doesn't matter. I can just separate your family and your kid goes here.
Right.
Like, it absolutely doesn't matter. It's about a sense of humanity. And yes, the music labels have long been terrible at that. So many of our elder musicians talk about how these labels took advantage of them and exploited them. That's absolutely true. So greater accountability for that, I think, is really important. That isn't coming from nowhere. That's something we have decided.
Right.
As a society, we're okay with. We don't care if you, as a person, is okay. Just get on this stage and make us feel better.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Nikki Giovanni, the brilliant poet who died last year, she has this poem that she wrote called Poem for Aretha Franklin, Poem for Aretha. And I love it because she talks about Aretha's humanity. She's like, we make all these demands of Aretha. Maybe she wants to go home and like be with her kids. Like, or you know how people are like, Rihanna, where's your new album? Rihanna is not putting out another album. She's like,
she I got this. Babies.
Listen, she's like, I got my man, I got my 3 kids.
I ain't mad.
I got my beauty brand making me money in my sleep.
I'ma chill.
I'ma go home and be at the house.
And rightfully so.
She has every right to do that. She doesn't owe us.
No, she doesn't.
Anything, but you have to get to a real place. If you can survive and get to a place of power where you can make that decision, it's a different thing. But someone like Juice WRLD wasn't there yet. And so people, whatever we got to do, like keep you drugged up, keep you this, keep you that, to keep you moving.
Yeah, it's true. But one thing that I think we could use more of in the music industry is mentorship.
Yeah.
I know that in my own personal career, I had someone who took me under my wing and was like, look, this is how we do it. I'm going to save you from this, and this, because music nowadays is just out of control.
Yeah.
It's out of control. So a lot of it I can't even listen to. And it's almost hypnotic on purpose. And it's like the kids is under mind control, especially with that drill music. Have me bopping and I don't even mean to.
I'm in it.
Last, I want to talk about one more thing because this was a big one for me because I also felt this. I didn't feel this as much, but who killed Jam Master Jay?
Diddy. I don't know that for sure.
Diddy don't kill everybody. Phyllis Hyde went
everybody. Listen, he can take the rap on all that. If he didn't know, he knows who. You know what I'm saying? We know it had to be some kind of inside job, and I think it goes back to kind of the same question, a conversation we had about Juice WRLD. Who are the people who are around?
Right.
Keeping me alive?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? It's got to be somebody close to you. And we've talked about the connections of hip hop and street culture and all these things. And the thing that was so terrible about that, like, who got beef with Jam Master Jay?
He was in the back.
Right. Like, how you mad at him?
You should have been mad at Run D, right?
You know what I'm saying? Or like, Tupac. I see how that he could get on your nerves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna say what he got to say. You got beef with Tupac. I'm kind of like, oh, okay, that's fine. But Jam Master Jay, seriously?
Yeah. But where are the artists now like Tupac that stood on a political platform? Because we are in a political firestorm and ain't nobody saying nothing but Kanye.
Well, oh, Lord.
And okay, we don't even want to get off on him, but literally, Tupac was, what did he say, Dolores Tucker?
Well, see, Dolores Tucker, and that's interesting too, because now that I'm old, I'm like, let me revisit some of what she said. She might not have been wrong about every single thing that she said. That's my middle-aged conservatism.
She's kind of prophetic, right?
Creeping in. I'm like, wait a minute, see, Dolores, your methods, but maybe there was a kernel of truth in there. No, I'm joking, but still, I think lots of people like to throw around words like activist and things like that, but I feel like if you are an activist, it has to cost you something. Mm-hmm. You got some skin in the game somewhere, somehow, and I'm not going to say that nobody's doing that because that doesn't feel exactly true. But I do think we're in a moment where that isn't as important. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is trying to get somewhere, get the likes, get the brand deals, get this, get that, and making a stance that is going to possibly endanger your position and your money is not, there's not a huge appetite for that. my joke so many times now is like, y'all ain't watched Eyes on the Prize, and it shows. Like, you did not have your teacher wheel out the TV and VCR and have
That
you
was
watch
mandatory.
Eyes on the Prize. Like, come on, y'all. We know better than this. But I'm hopeful people find a way, and there are younger people who are about that life. Like this generation, teenagers, young 20s, they see the world that they're being handed.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no.
No.
This
And
ain't
I don't
us.
blame them.
And I don't blame them either.
I don't blame
And
them.
so I really, honestly, I look to them, and it's not fair because they shouldn't have to fight. They should be able to
Right.
just live their lives. But I look to them, and I think we err when we are just dismissive of what young people have to say and how they see the world. And so that's who I'm looking to, because I'm like, the rest of us, what we doing?
Well, I will thank you so much because you have certainly told us something good. I think even Shaka Khan would be proud. I want to give some life lessons about mysteries and things that as we get older, how we approach them. You said one of them already. You said the people around you can help you or harm you. And that's something that we have to be cognizant of. You can look at Jam Master Jay, Donny Hathaway, Jimi Hendrix. And it's important that you choose your inner circle like your life depends on it, because it really does.
Facts.
I'll say protect your work, protect your legacy.
Yes.
Right? We look at Marvin Gaye. We look at all those people who lost their music in the Universal fire. So you have to protect your legacy.
You do.
And lastly, sometimes the truth is messy and uncomfortable, and you may not always get closure.
Nope. Ooh.
You got to be okay with
Put a
sometimes.
Hammond organ under that, too.
Right. You're not going to always get closure. And that's okay. So I'm going to close with put some Jesus on it and let you know that God is the clarifier, the comforter, and the cleanser. And sometimes God says, you don't need the truth, you need the healing. They are not synonymous all the time. So the scripture that I want to give you for this is Colossians 1:26-27, which reads, the mystery that has been kept hidden for ages and generations, but is now disclosed to the Lord's people, to whom God has chosen to make known among Gentiles the glorious riches of the mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. So the mystery of his loving kindness is in us. So all those other things, we're going to let it fall off. Now, I am going to let my guest close us out and let her have the last word. I'm so glad and honored to have you. Y'all better go run out and get the book. Shout out to all the HBCUs.
Hey.
And I always allow my guests to close us out. So what would you say to the people as your last words?
Listen, stay close to spirit, stay close to yourself. Don't be afraid in a world that is trying to always grab your attention, to withdraw that attention and give it back to yourself. Stillness is your friend.
Yes.
So learning to sit in stillness, learning to listen to stillness is a key to sanity and liberation.
Now, when the ethnomusicologist tells you that stillness is something, y'all better listen because music is her thing.
Music is my thing.
If she's telling you that there's peace
You
in the
got to turn it
stillness,
off.
y'all better listen to what she say. I will ask you to like, share, subscribe, visit my website, thehotflashreport.com. The God in me honors the God in you. Shalom.